Hello everyone, welcome back to Nutrimentor, your learning companion for CPGET Nutrition preparation. In today's session, we are going to discuss acid-base balance, one of the most important yet often confusing topics in physiology. Have you ever wondered how our blood pH remains almost constant despite eating different foods, exercising, or even falling sick? What happens when the body becomes too acidic or too alkaline? And why are the conditions like acidosis and alkalosis repeatedly asked in competitive exams? Don't worry. By the end of this video, you will understand the buffers, pH regulation, acid-base disorder in a simple and interesting and exam-oriented way. So let's begin and understand how our body maintains its delicate pH balance every single minute. So here is the first question. The normal pH of arterial blood is, options are 6.8 to 7, 7 to 7.2, 7.35 to 7.45, 7.5 to 7.8. Our body is extremely strict about blood pH. Even a small change can affect enzymes, cells, and organs. So, what is the normal blood pH that every nutrition student should remember? And the right answer is 7.35 to 7.45. Normal blood is slightly alkaline. Maintaining pH is essential for enzyme function and metabolism. So, here is the next question. The major buffer system of blood is phosphate buffer, protein buffer, bicarbonate buffer, or hemoglobin buffer. So, when acid enters the blood, who comes to rescue first? Think of the bicarbonate buffer as the body's emergency acid control team. Yes, you're guessing it right. The answer is bicarbonate buffer. The bicarbonic acid system is a major extracellular buffer. The normal bicarbonate to carbonic acid ratio in the blood is it 1:1, 10:1, 20:1, 30:1? One ratio can decide whether your blood remains normal or becomes acidic. Can you remember this magical number? Yes, the right answer is 20:1. 20:1 is a ratio which maintains a normal blood pH of 7.4. Remember, the blood pH is 7.4. Carbonic anhydrase is found mainly in, and the options are liver cells, red blood cells, muscle cells, kidney tubules. Carbon dioxide travels through blood every second, but which enzyme helps manage this entire process inside RBCs? Yes, the answer is red blood cells. Carbonic anhydrase helps convert carbon dioxide into carbonic acid. Diabetic ketoacidosis causes, options are metabolic alkalosis, respiratory alkalosis, metabolic acidosis, and respiratory acidosis. When diabetes is uncontrolled, the body starts burning fat rapidly. The result? Ketone bodies accumulate. But what acid-base problem develops? Yes, the right answer is metabolic acidosis. Ketone bodies increase blood acidity and lower pH. Hyperventilation commonly causes, options are respiratory acidosis, metabolic acidosis, respiratory alkalosis, and metabolic alkalosis. Anxiety attacks, panic, and high altitude can all make a person breathe faster. But what happens when too much carbon dioxide leaves the body? And the right answer is respiratory alkalosis. Excessive loss of carbon dioxide makes the blood more alkaline. Severe vomiting may lead to metabolic acidosis, respiratory acidosis, metabolic alkalosis, or respiratory alkalosis. Your stomach contains hypochloric acid. So if a person loses large amount of gastric acid through vomiting, what happens to the blood pH? And the right answer is metabolic alkalosis. Loss of gastric HCl increases blood bicarbonate. COPD commonly causes respiratory alkalosis, respiratory acidosis, metabolic alkalosis, and metabolic acidosis. If the lungs fail to remove carbon dioxide, where will it go? The answer explains one of the most important respiratory disorders. And the right answer is respiratory acidosis. Poor ventilation causes carbon dioxide retention. So small breathing is seen in metabolic acidosis, respiratory alkalosis, metabolic alkalosis, respiratory acidosis. Why does a patient with severe acidosis breathe rapidly and deeply? The body is actually trying to correct the problem, what it is. And the right answer is metabolic acidosis. Deep breathing helps remove excess carbon dioxide. The organ mainly responsible for long-term acid-base regulation is heart, liver, lungs, kidneys. The lungs work fast, but another organ works slowly and permanently to maintain pH. Which organ is the body's final acid-base regulator? Yes, you're guessing it right. The answer is kidneys. Kidneys excrete hydrogen ions and conserve bicarbonate. Kidneys regulate acid balance by producing glucose, excreting hydrogen ions, producing oxygen, storing sodium. The kidneys are not just filters, they actively remove acid from the body every single day. The right answer is excreting hydrogen ions. Kidneys eliminate excess acid through urine. Coming to the next question, the chloride shift involves exchange of sodium and potassium, calcium and magnesium, bicarbonate and chloride, hydrogen and sodium. One ion leaves the red blood cells while another enters. This silent exchange helps transport carbon dioxide efficiently. The chloride shift involves exchange of bicarbonate and chloride. This maintains electrical neutrality in red blood cells. Severe diarrhea commonly causes metabolic alkalosis, respiratory alkalosis, metabolic acidosis, and respiratory acidosis. Vomiting and diarrhea seem similar, but their effect on acid-base balance are completely opposite. Do you know which disorder diarrhea may cause? Yes, the answer is metabolic acidosis. Loss of bicarbonate-rich intestinal fluids cause acidosis. The lungs regulate acid-base balance by controlling, and the options are oxygen, sodium, potassium, carbon dioxide. The lungs cannot control bicarbonate directly. Instead, they control another molecule that strongly influences blood pH. And the right answer is carbon dioxide. It acts as a volatile acid. Which condition is associated with respiratory alkalosis? And the options are COPD, severe diarrhea, hyperventilation, renal failure. Before you answer this question, think about what happens during panic attacks or anxiety. Fast breathing changes carbon dioxide level, but in which direction? And the right answer is hyperventilation. Rapid breathing removes excess carbon dioxide. So let's have a quick revision of this particular topic, acid-base balance. First, metabolic acidosis. Here, bicarbonate goes down and blood becomes acidic. The lungs immediately try to help by increasing breathing and blowing off carbon dioxide. Remember, the common causes are diabetic ketoacidosis, severe diarrhea, and kidney failure. Think, less bicarbonate, more breathing. Now the opposite situation. Metabolic alkalosis means bicarbonate becomes too high and blood becomes alkaline. The body responds by slowing down breathing to retain carbon dioxide. The classic CPGET question. Persistent vomiting when stomach acid is lost. Alkalosis develops. Next comes respiratory acidosis. Here the lungs fail to remove carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide builds up, making the blood acidic. Conditions like COPD, asthma, respiratory paralysis are important examples. Remember this simple line. Poor ventilation means more carbon dioxide. Finally, respiratory alkalosis. Excessive breathing removes too much carbon dioxide from the body. Anxiety attacks, hyperventilation, and high altitudes are the classic causes. Here, the kidneys slowly compensate by removing bicarbonate. Breathing too fast makes blood alkaline. Remember this. For CPGET, always remember one simple rule. Metabolic problems involve bicarbonate, respiratory problems involve carbon dioxide, lungs act fast, kidneys act slow. If you remember this single line, acid-base balance will become much more easier for you. That's your complete acid-base balance revision in just a few minutes. Revise these 4 disorders regularly because one direct question almost appears every year from this area in competitive exam. So that's all for this video. Stay tuned, subscribe to Nutrimentor. We'll meet in the next video. Thank you.